Today I will be talking about the buildings that Richard David Morrison built during his time as president at Alabama A&M University. In 1963, the R.B. Prentice Hall was built. In 1963, the Buchanan Hall was also built. Buchanan Hall was formerly known as Bib Graves. In 1966, Hopkins Hall, which is currently a female dormitory, was built. In 1967, J.F. Drake Memorial Library was completed. The George Washington Carver Multipurpose Complex, which is on the side of the quad, was done being built in 1968. In 1971, Patton Hall, also known as the Financial Aid Hall, was built. In 1972, Morris Hall, which is a dormitory, was built. In 1972 as well, Harriet J. Terry Hall, another dormitory, was built. In 1975, Richard David Morrison Fine Arts Building was also completed. And in 1981, Palmer Hall, which is also a dormitory, was also built. These are some of the accomplishments in the buildings that Richard D. Morrison built during his time at A&M. Thank you.
The year is 1986, and though Dr. Morrison is out of office, he has been accused of betraying his university, that is Alabama Agricultural and Mechanical University.
Please rise. The Court of Honors program is now in session. The Honorable Judge Jamarian Wilson presiding.
You may be seated. Ms. Branch, please swear in the jury.
Raise your hand and listen carefully. Do you solemnly swear that you will truly try the matter before this court and render a true verdict according to the law and evidence, so help you God?
I do.
I do. Thank you. You may be seated. The jurors have been duly sworn. We will now proceed with the trial. Members of the jury, you will be determining whether the defendant, Richard David Morrison, should face time for the betrayal of Alabama A&M. Prosecutor, state your case.
Your Honor, members of the jury, my name is Mr. Carr, and I will be representing Jarvis Pruitt in today's case. He will not be here, as seen, how rude of him, but I intend to embody him in spirit. We intend to prove that Dr. Richard David Morrison betrayed the prestige of AAMU during his presidency.
Defendant, state your case.
Your Honor, members of the jury, my name is Ms. Radford and this is Ms. Branch, and we are representing Richard David Morrison, the 5th president of AAMU, the educator, the best of the best of the best. We are proving that Richard David Morrison did not betray the prestige of AAMU throughout his presidency.
Mr. Morrison, would you like to give a small introduction?
Your Honor, my name is Richard David Morrison, and I serve as the 5th president of Alabama A&M University. Before then, I was an instructor and head of department at the Institute of Agriculture. I served this institution for 47 years. While as a staff of AAMU, I had my master's degree from Cornell University in 1941 and my PhD from Michigan State University in 1954. I wrote 2 books, Walking in the Wilderness, an autobiography, and The History of Alabama A&M University. I left this university in 1985.
Prosecutor, you may state your case.
Your Honor, Dr. Morrison has not made any big significant changes to this institution.
Your Honor, that is crazy. Dr. Morrison oversight development over a dozen buildings.
Where you going? Ma'am. Ma'am.
L.R. Patton, Walter T. Gravett,
Yes.
Robert B. Prentice,
Okay.
Buchanan Hall, J.F.J., L.R.C., Morris, Terry.
He deserved to be president.
That's strike one, Ms. Branch. And Ms. Radford.
Crazy? What's crazy is that he was too old to be serving. I'll let this man serve until he was 77 years old. He had no business being in office. He should have been in someone's nursing home.
Your Honor, yes, my defendant was 77 years old, but he was only 54 when he got in his office. Mr. Morrison was born January 18th, 1908 in Utica, Mississippi. And this old man has more sense than you ever will, Mr. Carr. Don't you ever disrespect my president again.
Order. We can't sit up here and clown somebody based on their age, especially when age ain't nothing but a number. Y'all ain't feeling it? My bad. Prosecutor, do you have anything else to add to this?
No, but, Your Honor, Dr. Morrison did not support Alabama A&M in any sufficient way throughout the entirety of his presidency. His leadership provided much more stagnation to the institution than growth.
Honor, he supported this institution the best that he could. During only his second year of being in office in 1963, Alabama A&M University became fully accredited by the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. This gained school recognition internationally as well as by government authorities. This granted Alabama A&M more legal status membership in academic association. During Dr. Morrison's time, the college achieved the university's status in 1969, thus becoming Alabama Agricultural and Mechanical University. No president ever before him has done this, but he did.
You make a great point, Ms. Branch. You make a great point.
Your Honor, we've just found some new information about the case.
What you found? Oh, based on these documents, your client seems to be involved with Tuskegee a lot. Prosecutor, what does this evidence prove?
Your Honor, do you know where Mr. Morrison received his education?
Alabama A&M?
He received his bachelor's degree from Tuskegee before entering A&M. It's not in his blood, so he did lie. He will be a bad golden tiger till the day he dies. I said a bad golden tiger till the day he dies. And furthermore, during his illustrious presidency, he donated no small sum of $500,000 to Tuskegee. This is money that could have gone to construction, faculty, and students attending A&M.
Your Honor, I object.
Overruled.
Your Honor, I object.
Overruled.
Your Honor, I object.
And I said overruled.
Hey, bruh, I said I object. This only proves the great character that Mr. Morrison has. He provides for his own school while looking out for his alma mater. Yes, he helped Tuskegee, but he also helped Alabama A&M in many more ways. His loyalty is with the Bulldogs. He brought funding for buildings and the improvement of roads. He brought in funding for extracurricular activities, such as intercollegiate soccer, beginning in 1965, and women's volleyball in 1977. Not to mention, he helped put the school on the map. In 1979, he attended the United Nations Conference of Science and Technology for Development in Vienna, Austria. He also visited Africa in 1980 to establish linkages to agricultural research. Get your money up, not your play up, Mr. Carr.
Hard to do that when I'm $500,000 short.
Anyways, I have some witnesses here today to attest to my defendant's character. Ms. Branch.
Your Honor, I would like to call up my first witness of the day. Ms. Cameron, may you please come up here? Ms. Cameron, how did Dr. Morrison affect your life?
Dr. Morrison was a beacon on the hill. He nurtured so many of us normalized with his loving kindness and his personable ways.
Thank you, Ms. Cameron. You may be seated. I would like to call up my next witness, Mr. Solomon. May you please come up here to attest to Dr. Morrison's character, please? Mr. Solomon, what kind of effect did Dr. Morrison have on your life?
As an alumnus of AAMU, who benefited immensely from the legacy of Dr. Morrison, I celebrate the homecoming of a man whose life has touched so many. You, Dr. Morrison, has left an indelible mark on the lives of so many.
Thank you, Mr. Solomon. You may be seated.
Prosecution and defense, do you have anything else to add to this case?
No, Your Honor.
We will now go into recess to determine the final verdict. Everyone, please exit to your right.
So what do you guys think? What are you leaning towards?
I feel like the prosecution didn't have many valid points.
I didn't think so either. What did you
Well,
think?
I hear him saying he served 25 years as a director of agriculture department.
Yeah, I actually heard outside of this that he was proud about signing in the Food and Agriculture Act in 1977.
Oh, you can't forget about the $500,000 to Tuskegee.
That is a major flaw. But
I think that is a big flaw.
Yeah.
but overall, he did a lot more for A&M.
What do you think?
Jury, have you come to a verdict?
Yes, we have. We found Dr. Morrison to be not guilty of betraying the prestige of Alabama A&M.
By the power invested in me, we pronounce you, Dr. Morrison, not guilty of betraying Alabama A&M.
Hey, yo, what?